Hey there, Julie Cahill-Tar here, and today I want to teach you about an underutilized resource that can help you find the church a family attended so you can expand your research with church records. So in 1935, the Works Projects Administration, which was formerly Works Progress Administration, was established by executive order to provide jobs to the unemployed. The Historical Records Survey was one of the many projects the WPA undertook. Simply put, the goal of the survey was to locate and catalog historical records held at all levels of government. What you may not know is that the states also cataloged church records. The resulting church inventories are great resources to use when trying to determine which church a family attended, especially when there are no city directories to consult or county histories fall short on detailing churches. And the good news is many of these inventories are digitized and available for free online. Now, let's look at a few examples. This first one is the Guide to Vital Statistics Records of Churches in New York State. It is organized by county, then by town, then by denomination. Each entry includes when the church was established and when it ceased operation, if applicable. There is also a listing of the vital type records such as baptisms, marriages, and deaths or burials that were available at the time the inventory was conducted. Let me show you how I would use this inventory to find potential churches. So let's say I'm looking for a Protestant Episcopal church in the town of Auburn in Cayuga County. I head to the section for Cayuga County, then for the town of Auburn, and then look for the Protestant Episcopal denomination. Here I can see that there are two churches listed, but let's say the family moved out of state in 1842. In that case, I would focus on the one entry where the church was in operation prior to 1842, which is St. Peter's, established in 1803. If I don't know the denomination for the family, I would go through all the listings for each denomination in Auburn and make a list of the ones that were operational for the time period of interest. From this list, I can then start seeking out records for known life events, and with any luck, I can find the correct church and explore the records for even more information. To show you some variety and that not all inventories are created equal, let's look at the inventory of the Church Archives of Connecticut Protestant Episcopal. In this case, there was an inventory done of the church archives, which typically includes records beyond the vital type records we saw in the earlier example. Now, unfortunately, the entries in this volume are not arranged by location like we saw earlier, therefore making it a little challenging to examine the churches in a particular town. There are, however, three different indexes, one of which is alphabetical by town, so I could use that to find each church in a particular town and make a list of potential churches from each entry. So let's take a peek at an entry. You'll notice that they're much more detailed than the ones we saw for New York. Each entry is headed with the church name, date founded, address, town, and county. Then a brief description and history of the church is included, followed by a listing of records and a listing of published histories related to the church and/or the location. Now, before I wrap up, I want to share one additional tip. Be sure to read any introductory information to understand how the inventory was collected, what's included, how the book is organized, and how to read the entries. All right, so there you have it, a quick look at how WPA church inventories can help you identify potential churches a family may have attended. Now it's time for you to take action. Think about a project you're currently working on where you haven't figured out the church the family belonged to. Then head over to one of the following sites for digital books: Google Books, Internet Archive, HathiTrust, or Family Search Digital Library. And I'll provide links to these below this video. Then search for an inventory of church records for the state of interest. Next, review the entries for the town of interest and make a list of potential churches. While some of the inventories include where the records are located, remember that these were compiled in the 1930s and 1940s, and therefore the records may be somewhere else today. Additionally, some churches may have closed or merged since the time of publication, so you may need to do a little investigative work to locate where the records are held today.